Hello world, it is Wednesday, October 21st, kind of a warmer morning this morning. I actually got out to go for a run in shorts and a t-shirt, 60 degrees at about 6:45 this morning. And I think the rain is supposed to clear up and warm for a couple of days and then cool again. So I think it's a good balance for the farmers around here. Today's devotion is entitled Longing for Sanctuary, written by Talitha Arnold. And Talitha bases the devotion upon Psalm 63, verse 2, reading from the Revised Standard Version. I have looked upon thee in the sanctuary, beholding thy power and glory. Talitha writes, tradition has it that Psalm 63 was composed by David when he was in the Judean desert on the run from King Saul. Modern commentaries dispute his authorship, but the psalm certainly describes David's desperation as he fled those who seek to destroy my life. It also expresses the hardship of a desert place and time. My soul thirsts for thee, my flesh faints for thee, as in a dry and weary land where no water is. Most of all, Psalm 63 gives voice to the longing for sanctuary in all the ways we use that word. Sanctuary is a sacred place where, like the psalmist, we have beheld God's power and glory. Sanctuary is a safe place where we are protected from those who would do us harm or a virus that can do us in. Sanctuary is a place where we've gathered in the presence of God and of others, a place with one another's voices lifted in prayer and song. God quenched our thirst and strengthened our souls. In their fearful wilderness time, it's no wonder whoever wrote Psalm 63 remembers what it was like to be in such a sanctuary, nor any wonder that we too may thirst for such a safe and sacred place. Yet despite the longing to be back in the sanctuary, the psalmist remembers and reminds us that God's steadfast love is not limited to a physical space. Even in a fearsome desert place, the psalmist trusts that love and knows it is our true sanctuary. May we know the same. And Talitha's prayer. Wherever we are in this wilderness time, O God, may we know we are in the sanctuary of your steadfast love. Amen. It's a fitting devotion for this time as we continue in this time of the pandemic. And then I know, well, I think we had 20 people in worship last Sunday, so far less than half of our usual Sunday morning worship. Maybe a third, or a little less than that even. So I know there are some who are coming, who are longing to be in sanctuary, and it's just not the same without as many people there. And then there are others who I think are biding their time and trying to do what they feel makes them safer. So in a way, this pandemic continues to be a desert place for so many of us because life is different in the desert. And I think the reality is life is never going to go back to exactly the way we remember it. We'll be able to go forward, but it's going to be different, and we'll have to adapt. And remember that no matter what happens, God is always present with us, even in a fearsome desert place. So think about what Talitha said, that God's steadfast love is not limited to physical space. God's presence isn't limited to the sanctuary. Look for God. Look for God's presence wherever you are. And try to be like God's living presence for those who are suffering the most. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.